Alrighty, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Welcome to the AC Show, the coolest show on YouTube. So I am Aaron, aka the Handy Outdoor Nerd, and this gentleman over here to my left is
MrCarrellScience. How you?
Well, that's not gonna work. I was gonna try to connect my earbuds so I can hear a little bit better, but that's not wanting to work. Just trying to get rid of any feedback. So we've got Welbot, we've got Eddie. Yes, I know. I was trying to get some stuff squared away on hearing, but 3 minutes isn't bad. Is it frozen on Chris or is it frozen on me too? I can change down the ratio. There we go. All right, so we've got Kathy, we've got Eddie, we've got Dan, we've got Garth, we've got Theresa. All right.
I forgot. I messed.
So tonight's episode, we are unboxing. Big on mine. There we go. That's interesting. That there. The Anycubic Photon is what we are unboxing tonight. I don't know if Chris is froze up right now. Nope, he's out for the way. Yeah, is it just on Chris's end or is it on my end too, Theresa? Hey there, Cassie. Casey. I'm good. Okay. So I'm literally just waiting on Chris to come back to life. Hey, Brian. How is it going, Brian? So you guys can see right here, I've got the Anycubic Photon and I've got the Wash Cure Station, and I've got 2 different liters of the resin. So I have got a translucent green and a black. I will a little bit later on hold a poll which one you guys would like to have us print with. So I'm glad everything's going good down there in Texas. I don't know if he's going to be popping back up anytime soon. And there he be.
Sorry.
There you go. You're not so pixelated anymore.
Well, you were lagging. When I'm getting a bad echo, is it everybody else hearing it, or is it just me?
Well, you're probably hearing because my microphone's right up there and the speakers and everything. So, and I don't have my headset on, so I can actually move around. But I've got a setup. Are you ready to see my my setup that I've got set up for it?
I'm a little scared of it, actually.
Bam.
Ooh.
I've got another camera set up so I can come over here and unbox. And that way everybody can actually see. So I can move this a little bit closer. So yes, I was wanting to get it set up so I could be like this, talk for a little bit, and then move over there. I actually did try to do 2 cameras. One thing I wish that they would actually do would be have it set up you can have multiple cameras on StreamYard. That would be nice.
Multiple cameras at the same time.
Yeah. I did actually attempt to do that, have myself in there twice. Oh man, it was a lag. I would move, and then I would see myself move several seconds afterwards. Yeah, well, Eddie, not everyone can be as awesome as you and have really good network. I'm in Missouri, so.
But do I have that same lag, Eddie?
So, and I don't know if it's because my camera and my microphone have everything set up on that. So I don't know. Usually I'm directly wired in. Yeah, Eddie, but you were also in Kansas City. I'm in a small town. I don't got Google Fiber up there.
Aaron lives out in the middle of nowhere.
So I wish I had it. That would be really awesome. And then I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, lowering my quality of video down to do a live stream. But all right, well, we've got 8 people watching so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys want to see my
So
cool
I will
print?
have you. What's that?
You guys want to see my cool print?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and knock out a cool print for you, since you're going to be sitting there kind of telling me what everyone's saying and whatnot. I'm going to be over there. I do have chat up separate, big, so I can actually see what people are saying.
So my robotics team has spent some time creating a so all the people in my robotics team created their own individual block, and this represents one of our challenges. So my robotics team is participating in a challenge put on by NASA called Roads on Mars. Where we're simulating a Mars rover on the surface of Mars. So they all created their own little block, and they're all personalized. Or hey, Aaron, mute your microphone. Okay, so they all created their own little block, and they all have like little YouTube symbols or like little sayings that they say, YouTube play button. So they all have their own little flair to them. So they all have their own little flair to them. So they're all pretty sweet, but they essentially they all stack together to create a fake communications tower. So it looks something like this. So here's the blocks all together, And so they stack one on top of the other, and then you have these little satellite dish blocks that are supposed to stack on top, except I made the tolerances way wrong, and so they don't actually stack up on top of each other. But eventually they will stack up on top of each other. So they stack up here, and then this stacks up on here, and then you have another stack next to it. And you have the satellite on top. So it's like a satellite communications dish. And one of their challenges, it broadcasts fake news. Yeah, Brian. So one of the challenges for the robotics competition we're participating in is they have to fly a drone and have it orbit the surface of fake Mars, fake news Mars. And then they have to build the communications tower. They have to build the communications tower while they are flying the drone. So, yeah, that's what it is. So I thought it was cool because my students actually designed those themselves. They made the prints all on their own, and it's pretty cool. My print is garbage, but it looks cool. So it's fun.
Can you hear me through this one? I'm trying to change my audio source.
Yeah, it's way cooler than if I were to have designed them. So I think they're awesome.
All right, let's see. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I didn't hear myself echo when I talked just now.
Echo when I talk in my earbuds so I can hear a little bit better. But that's not what. Why are you on there? All right.
Now I hear two Aarons.
All right.
What's going on? Two Aarons. What's going on?
Yeah, it's I had it paused, but it unpaused. All right, so let's get into unboxing this, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to switch cameras over. All right. I know, Brian, it can be wackadoodle. All right, so we've got translucent green right here, and we've got black. Those are our choices for later on. Got the WamBam flex plate. Right here. Right here. And then got the photon and the wash cure station. All right, so let's go ahead and move this out and down. And I'm going to knock stuff down. You know, that's how it works. Let's make that a little easier right there. All right, so up top, toss stuff off screen. We've got the after sales card, certified from them, instructions, got the USB, got the kind of coffee filter files to port back in, got an Allen key screwdriver, our power brick, and we do have it for the US, as it should be. And then we've got our scraper, a mask, some gloves, Allen keys, screws, and a flat tip. Let's go ahead and just pull this down, take this off. Hello, WamBam. How's it going? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop this out of the lower portion and try not to drop it. All right, there is the photon. All right, so next what I'm going to do is we're going to pop out the WamBam flex plate. Then I will finish taking the packaging out from the photon itself. So there's the actual flex plate itself. Let's go ahead and pop this top. Here is the build plate. Now I'm going to pull out this foam. That wasn't too bad. Just going to toss everything out of my way. All right. Don't need that there. All right, let's go ahead and apply the flex plates to it, because why not? And I can unbox the wash cure station. I know I've got the knob I need to put on this as well, which should be. Here maybe? Yep, there it is. Set stuff off to the side. You say which screw 348. That's good. So that, and just toss this on to make this a little easier. All right, that's done. Now, for the moment we are all waiting for. The flex plate. Check that out. Does not want to come off the actual magnet right now, which is a good sign. But there we go. Wham, bam. So that's super exciting. All right, got that there. Got the flex plate there. Now we've got a queen, which this is pretty much a clean name because it's straight from factory. But they give you sandpaper to wrap it up. So it'll stick better.
Oh yeah, that's a great sound.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I remember Uncle Jesse saying that it's best to let it set. We will see how far along we get on this. Doing a test. Yeah. So what do you think, Chris? Should we take and put the flex plate on tonight, or should I put the flex plate on later and let it cure?
Well,
I'll have to re-level.
Are you wanting to do a test?
That's kind of my idea, is to possibly do a test print. So,
well, if you do a test print tonight, you don't put the sticky on there, or are you going to go back and do it?
oh well, yeah, I'm literally going to be up until the entire thing's done. So no matter what.
WamBam system says go ahead and do it. If you need any magnet, you can do it.
All right, I will go ahead and slap her on there. So just bending part of it over. The same part. Yep. And I'm just going to line her up. Use my table to help line it up. All right. And now, slowly slide. There we go. That actually went on really even. So I'm happy with that. Now, man, that sticks. That really, really sticks. All right. And then, of course, we got some WamBam stickers, which I think I'll probably put one on the Photon and on the wash cure station. Toss that out of the way. Move some stuff out of the way. Why don't you go ahead and start pulling which filament we should use of the resin? Should we use the black or the translucent green, people? Those are your choices. We will see the number of what everyone is thinking. So go ahead and poll, and Chris, the highest one is the one that we're
All right, he muted his camera, so he muted his microphone, so I can actually talk. Oh no! He only muted one microphone. All right, so far, most people are saying green. Most people are saying green because they're saying the black will take too long to cure. Yeah, Welbot, he usually has a headset on, and so usually he's got a headset, and so it usually gets rid of the echo. But today he's working with two different cameras because he's doing the unboxing, and so he couldn't put his headphones on because he needed to be able to move back and forth. It's much easy printing green. Robbie Mack says we're impatient, so go green. Why are there so many songs about green things?
You're going to want to hear this. Ready? All right. Now I've got the film off of it. I'm going to actually need to clean in a minute. I'll also need to run power for it. All right, let's see. I meant to have another one handy, so I'm going to have to move the surge protector real quick. All right. Now I've got another surge protector that I can actually run across and plug stuff into. All right, there we go. There. Lower this down. All right. Scoop this over. Move some tools around. I'll rotate my fan because it's getting hot in here. Move this here. Figure we just go ahead and take out the wash cure station and get it set up as well. And then we'll get the photon going. All right. For those of you that don't know what it looks like, that is the wash cure station. In the top part, we've got Allen keys, got a spare bearing, and then just the after cell card, and then it's been approved. That's the side. And then we've got our power strip as well. Let's go ahead and pop the top. Decided to stay there. Here we go.
Hey, WamBam Systems is saying the Z limit spacer to compensate for the flux plate.
Yes, I did see that. Actually, you want to look that up for me and send me the link for that, Chris, and I will toss it on the FlashForge. All right, so inside you've got a little vat for the liquid to go in. And the cool thing about that is it's got its own lid for storing all of your isopropyl alcohol. My office used to be clean, now it's a mess. All right, pop this up. Let's take it out of the base. All right. So this is the little turntable port. Sets right in here. Let's go ahead and get that link Chris sent me. Yeah, I've been go all day, and I meant to get this actually going. I just did not get the opportunity to do so. All right, so that's where the turntable will set whenever it's securing with the lights. That's to add on this. I'll be doing that since I've got the flex plate. This won't be needing that. I'll be using this to clean the parts. And this is pretty cool. It's got magnets down here. So when it turns them in here, this spins and churns the isopropyl alcohol for your parts. So I'm going to set that up. Let's see.
Aaron, that's the photon.
What's that?
That's the photon.
Yep. There. That's Yep. I've got the photon itself. Uh, 2.5. Yes. All right, it's 2.5. I don't want you opening that. Print. Standard. And saved there. All right. That will be 5 minutes for that one. Close that down. And pop off there. And let's pull that back up so I can see. All right, let's clean my press bed real quick. And start my print. All right, that is heating up now. All right, so once that is good and ready, and just get this squared away over here. Best 3D printing jokes. Yes. All right. Flash Forge is heated up and it's printing. Go ahead and set this brick there and tilt. Now, one thing that's really cool, they've got nice metal part for the actual plug-in. So on the front, I don't know if you can see it from there. I'll move the tripod closer. There's 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. So there's wash and then there's cure. So then start and stop. So that's pretty straightforward and pretty basic, which, I mean, it's not like you really need super crazy details to do. So that's going. Now, Brian, I can't tell if that's a joke or you're being honest that you need to level your bed and go to sleep. Why are FDM machines sexier than resin machines? I honestly have no idea. I'll have the hottest ends. All right. So now I'm going to pop back over to the other camera. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of clean the base and lift it up. So let's go ahead and power it on. There we go. So this has got stuff in the bottom of it here. It's got static cling, so I'm going to put some isopropyl alcohol. All right. Tools, motion. All right. All right. Spray this. All right. Part is done. Later, WamBam. Thanks for popping on.
Oh, Aaron got muted this time.
All right. Let's see. So I'm trying to clean the sheet. That sheet. We need particles. And down here. They've got a protective film, which is nice. That's off there. Let's do that down there. And let's take the right size Allen key. There we go. Rotate so everyone can see a little bit better. Bring you right closer. And they got these things tight. There we go. All right. There's just this little piece of metal that's up in here that I need to keep. And I'm just putting the spacer on for it. So, that will get rid of this.
Aaron, did you realize that you broke 300 subscribers?
Yep. I did. Yep. Last I knew, I was sitting at 302. Which was as of today, so then I was set at 302. Come on. that just about does it for that. It's going to tell it to auto home and see what it does. And make sure that's lined up properly. Shift it just a little bit back and forth. Cool. Right, time to go all the way back up. So put this place on there. Oh, motion button. All right. Hey, JT, how's it going? All right. Now, I need to loosen up. There we go. Loosen it up at the top. And then grab a piece of printer paper. Cardstock. I don't want cardstock. There we go. All right. So we'll say auto home. I'll get down. Then I get to zero it out. All right. All right. So now that I've got it where it needs to be, open this up. All right. So once I get it down, No, it's not moving on me. Not touch. Okay. And now go to section. There. Introduce that to 0 now. All right. Let's go ahead and
JT says, "Be careful not to scratch her."
yeah. Not well, I just leave that down. Lock it into place. Well, I've already set it to 0, so let's just go home. Should be good. No, actually, we did not set it to 0. Okay, well. Let's do it. Move there. Okay. All right. Move her up. All right. And move her up more. All right. Now let's dig out my SD card that I buried. Plug that in. It's there. Grab. Glove. And I'm going to open up resin. All right. Let's add in some resin, shall we? All right. Back. Man, that stuff stinks. Right. It looks like there's only one print on here, so let's go ahead and I guess we'll see what it does. There she goes. Yeah, well, it's moving up and down, and this went away and then came back, so it is doing its layering. So 288 layers. It did layer one. Looks like it should take about 45 minutes.
Aaron, what are you printing?
What? The only thing that was actually on the SD card, apparently.
Oh, the sample print.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that maybe they would have, you know, Angus's lattice torture test on there. I did not see it. So. Yes, we are there-ish. It is, it's printing. Num 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 resin. So since that's going and printing, I'm going to go ahead and fill up the wash and cure station with some isopropyl alcohol. All right. And it's on to layer 5. 41 minutes remaining. I'm going to move this guy back. Tilt her up just a bit more. Back there. And let's keep filling it up a little bit more. All right, I say 3 of these should be enough. You can unmute your mic now, Chris.
I'm on the phone with my dad.
Ah. Well, Chris is going to be speaking with his father for a little while. All right, so we've got that going. We've got the wash cure station prepped, and we're ready to go. Monto layer 20 out of 288. 40 minutes remaining. 6% complete. I'm definitely interested to see how it turns out. It's definitely a lot different, more different than FDM.
All right, sorry, I'm good now.
You should be sorry. You should.
My dad called me, and I was like, "Well, I'm sitting here muted, so why not?"
Not a problem. Not a problem. So it is on layer 23.
Who's breaking stuff? It sounds like Welbot got some cornbread or something. That's what I gathered. I've been trying to figure out what's going on in the last 10 minutes, but they're just ignoring me and having their own little conversation. So I'm pretty sure Welbot just got some cornbread. Welbot says yes. Look at that. Called it. Context, guys. Context clues here. Oh, there's my dad. He popped on. He said, "What are you guys doing?" I said, "Well, I'm right in the middle of my stream right now." "Oh, I didn't mean to call you." And so there he is, hopping on. "Hey, Dad."
That's funny. Well, my YouTube chat apparently froze.
That cornbread has a history. it's seen some things, you know?
Yeah.
Well, TK, you missed Aaron setting up his Anycubic Photon.
And the
And so
washing
he
cure
set
station.
up and washing cure station. And he just he just started a print, which is whatever the test print is on the SD card. He didn't actually say what it was.
Well, I don't know what it is.
What's it labeled as? Does
Is
it have
the only thing that's on there. I don't know. It looks like it could be. I don't know how to explain it. It looks, in Star Wars, the ships, on how from the distance you see all the paneling and all the other raised and lower pieces. It looks like something like that. That's the only explanation I've got.
so it's a thing. TK says it's a torture test cube with the words Anycubic on it. Are we guessing, or is that what is actually on the card, TK?
I don't know that it is.
Does this show you? Does your little screen give you like a preview of what it's going to look like or something?
Well, it does the what layer it's on right now.
TK says that's what it's supposed to be. So we'll find out.
Okay.
Unless they changed it, he says.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was expecting like multiple things on there to do because I've not sliced or anything with it. Good Lord, this stuff stinks.
Someone needs a vent hood.
Oh, man.
TK said, does it have a round base? Oh, you see that? Just took the headphones off and just... Yeah, so he did the green because he had a choice between green and black, and people were saying the black was going to take too long to cure.
All right. Now I don't have to smell it. Yeah, there's a reason why this is not going to be set in my office.
If you're referring, Eddie, to what I just mentioned, people in the chat were saying, I don't have any experience with resin, so I don't know, but they were saying that the black resin just takes longer to cure. Not that it would be messed up, but it would just take longer. And they were in a hurry. You never smell resin? You burn out the smell receptors in your nose there, Eddie?
It stinks. I mean, it's not bad. I've smelled worse things in the world, but it stinks a little bit.
Oh, they're saying it would take a few extra seconds per layer.
And I can see that.
But is that in the slicer though? Do you choose what color you're doing it in?
Well, this is not the slicer. This was just, I don't know.
Oh, Eddie's got a loss of smell. You know what that means? I've heard of a few resins that don't stink too.
Yeah, there definitely is a couple that they say that aren't bad.
JT says some bio resins are odor free. So, Robbie Mac, does that mean that when you're slicing a file, you tell it to go at a slower rate? Or does the printer just, I mean, I can't imagine the printer automatically does that. We'll see you later, Eddie.
Later, Eddie. Have a good one.
Oh, you guys, I forgot that you guys can hear my kids now. Yeah, it's time for my kids to go to bed. It's super late, and I'm being a terrible father right now. I put them to bed, so. In fact, I probably ought to go.
Yeah, I mean, I could just sit on here and let this continually go, so. Because I'm not going to go to bed until after, so.
Yeah, I gotta get these kiddos to bed and make sure I got stuff right. We're holding an emergency meeting for my robotics team tomorrow because we are not done and we need to be done. So
Yeah, I understand that. All right. Well, I'll see you later, Chris. We'll definitely be on your channel next week, so.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later. Thanks everybody for joining. It was a pretty good stream tonight. So very active chat.
I'll stay on here for until this is done, and then I'll toss it in the Wash Cure station. So if you guys want to stick around, stick around. So I'll be able to answer any questions.
Kathy says to post a picture on Twitter when you're done.
I will do so.
Make sure you tag me in it.
I will. Not a problem.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see ya.
Later, man. See ya. All right. So now you're just stuck with me, everybody. All right. Let's see what layer we are on. We are on layer 53. Going on to 54. I will swap the camera back. There we go. All right, JT, have yourself a good one. I'll catch you on the flippity flip. Yes, I do believe that's what they called it, the RERF. But it's literally the only thing that they had available on it, which was a little disappointing because I figured that they would have, you know, multiple things on there to choose from. Robbie, I think he's talking about joining my stream. I think that's what he's talking about. Is that what you're talking about, TK? Pop in on actually live and not in chat? Yeah. I can send you the link, TK, because I've got you on Twitter. Come on. Doug Simpson. Why is my keyboard not letting me type? Let's do this profile. All right, there, TK. I sent you the link. You can send it to Robbie. For whatever reason, my keyboard's not wanting to work. And I have no idea why that is. Sounds good, TK. It's a resin calibration print from what TK says. Hello there, TK.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's a reference test. I find it burns up a lot of resin.
Yeah, it's literally the only thing they had on there.
Usually they have a cube, which is similar to, well, it's not exactly the cube. It's a double one. It's similar to one of these.
Yeah, the lattice torture test. Yeah, that's what I was expecting, but it was not setting on it that I saw. So I hit up and down that that's the only thing that I saw. So I said, well,
is it the new Photon, or is it an older version?
I don't know. All I know is it's a photon.
Right.
I don't know whether it's newer or
Because
older.
the newer ones, they've got the motherboard in it for the Photon S.
Okay.
Whereas my original one, which is in the back room at the moment, because I've got that at the moment.
Yeah.
So because mine's a version 1, and otherwise known as the classic one, because there was the code on it was a little bit more open source, so we were able to do stuff with it. Anycubic didn't quite like that because they want to keep things a little bit proprietary, and so they went over to the Photon S motherboards for the photons, and there was a big uproar because everything we basically have done is for the original Photon, and just like like the validators and stuff. And but yeah, it's a cracking little machine. You know, I mean, I've had mine for over 2 years, coming up to 3 years since, well, from when it was released. I've still got the original screen in it. One thing I would suggest though, you turn up your off time. Are you using, if you're going to use Chitubox for doing your slicing and for your supports and stuff, you'll have off time, and let me just load it up, bottom off time or something like that. Chitubox, where are you? Too many icons. Chitubox, because I very rarely use it. No, I don't want to update it. So yeah, in your settings you'll have where is it? Yeah, bottom exposure time, light off delay. So you put your light off delay to 6.5. That's the basic time that it takes to go down and lift up, and that'll give you a more accurate print time as well. But your bottom light off delay, set that to half of what your bottom exposure time is.
Okay.
It gives it the UV time to cool down. And what I usually do, if a print's going to take 7 hours after I've sliced it, I usually re-slice it again, but set the bottom exposure time, the exposure time to like 15 seconds. Because it just gives everything time to cool down in between layers. And it works because like I've still got my original screen. And you usually find that everyone that's burnt their screen out and stuff like that, they've not even set the time. You should have left it on 0.
Gotcha.
Also,
okay,
in
that's definitely in
the support section, in the top top right hand corner, you got Z lift height. Its default is 5 millimeters. Set it to 7 or 8, because that'll give you space between the model and the support, so that the supports will actually form properly. I love the way these are all supposedly set up for printers. The only thing they've actually set up is the build plate. Everything else in it is like default, and the defaults don't work.
Yeah.
It's like with the where's everyone gone? Where's it gone? With the default slicer, the item that you'd normally have, the Anycubic square, that's actually sliced at a different default from the actual model. So what was happening is a lot of people were buying the machine, they were putting the print in, that would print fine, then they'd go to print their own models and they'd be like, nothing's sticking to the bed. So I find that you need to stick an extra 10, but hopefully, this will give you an actual, though I don't like this test because it does burn up a lot of resin.
Yeah.
But it is a neat test, once it's done. It took me a little while to suss this one out because the numbers that it says to look for are actually hidden underneath the part.
Oh, interesting.
Because you've got like two parts that angle upwards. You've got holes on one side and you've got pins that come off the other side. And the actual numbers written underneath that arced part. I did mine, because this, let's see if I've got any here. Yeah. This is what it looks like when it's finished. Come on, zoom in.
Okay. Yeah, that looks about right.
And the number's actually like hidden right underneath there. Some, I think it's either that side or that side. So basically the way this works is that you've got, I think it's 6 or 8 of these going across. The first one will fail. It should fail the first one, so you'll have like a little slither like that on the bed, and the rest of it will be stuck to the FEP sheet.
Okay.
But that's normal because that one is the first one, and that's set up at the smallest. It's like on the Photon Mono, I think that's set at 0.5 of a second, fifth of a second, like. And then the next one, it'll add 1 second, then it'll add another 1 second, and another 1 second as it goes through them, all the way up to like 8 seconds. Then by looking at the pins and obviously the parts as they're coming off, it'll give you an idea of which one to use for the exposure. But if you join the Photon group, let me just post you a link to that. All right, I've just posted the link actually on normal chat.
Okay.
That'll take you to the Facebook group that I'm actually running. You'll get lots of info there. We've got over 32,000 users there.
Well, that's definitely helpful for anything, really.
Yeah, we've actually got users that are using the Frozen Sonic Mini that have left the Sonic groups and come and joined our groups, even though it's a different machine. It's just because they get help about the basics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Welbot, it's a horrible resin. That expect shrinkage as well with that green. It's the cheapest bog standard resin that they send out with the machine.
Well, the annoying thing is I went and selected the one that I wanted, and I said gray.
Yeah.
But I obviously got green, so. All right.
Are you thinking of getting yourself a mono?
Me?
Yeah. Well, the new mono range.
I don't know.
They are worth it. This little one here, $250, $260. I've fallen in love with it. It's basically, that's why the other Photon's in the other room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that print.
Oh wow.
Come on, focus. Come on. There we go.
That looks great.
That was done at 2-second exposure per layer, 0.3 layer height. And it took just over 4 hours to print. Bearing in mind that I actually print everything upright off the bed.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's like, no, you don't print them upright. You tilt them and you angle them and stuff like that. But as I've explained in videos, the reasons why I print them off the bed. Where's the other one? So you know, I mean, that's printed on the bed, and then you got the next one to it, angled, but it's also going to be higher because you got to put the supports.
Yeah.
And then it takes about the same time to print, and it's easier to clean off the supports when they're going straight up. You get a cleaner model rather than having it leaning back with all the support pins along the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work with all the models. Yeah, I mean, you'll get to the stage where you'll be able to look at a model and go, right, that definitely needs to be tilted, or, you know, I mean, I can print that one straight up or angle it slightly differently. But yeah, I spend most of my time looking at a model and prepping it rather than printing it.
That's what I've heard. Like while I was watching Uncle Jesse's video on doing one guy's settings and his settings, and that, you know, they got one guy spends, you know, half an hour setting up supports on his or more. You know, it's just like, oh wow, that's it's a lot more work than I'm used to for supports. Yeah. Like, because I mean, for FDM printers, yeah, I will manually go in and add supports, but it does not take me that long to do that. So
yeah, I mean, I prefer. I mean, the Photon Workshop that comes with the new software, its default settings and everything are horrific for the supports. Yeah, I mean, you throw on supports, you use auto supports, and it just throws them everywhere. And you're looking at it, and you're thinking, no, those supports are just way too thick, and there's too many of them and stuff like that. But now that I've adjusted them, because like even some of the supports would stick into the model at the base. You know, I mean, really sloppy, and it, you know, you don't want support bases stuck into your models and stuff. There should be a gap there. The software should recognize it and go, oh, well, that's the model, but I don't want to actually be touching it. I'll move the base and move the support out a little bit. But the new setup I've done, which I'll be doing a video on soon, it's a workable piece of software now with the supports. You can actually quite happily use the Photon Workshop and get supports spread out where you need to, just the same as with the Prusa slicer, which is the one I actually use at the moment. That's my default slicer.
Oh, really?
For adding supports, I use it for adding supports, but then I'll export it with the supports and then load it up into the Photon Workshop or whichever slicer comes with the machine, and then slice it from the actual software. It's just that I find the Prusa slicer, it has a better auto support system. It still needs manually work. You know, once you supported everything, you still need to check it and edit things, but it's easier to edit than it is with all the other ones. You know, I mean, there's a video on my channel that shows how I print the models with the Prusa slicer, using them, you know, like with the models upright off the base. But yeah, you know, I mean, when you go into the edit mode, you get like a ball and a little arrow that comes out of it, and you can then move that about to angle the actual support. And the Prusa one will actually go, you know, I mean, if it thinks that support is too thick, it will do micro supports as well.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And you realize, like, and the other thing with the Prusa slicer, when you're adding your own supports, it will do the cross links. Whereas the Photon Workshop slicer, when you use that and you're putting your own manual supports in, it doesn't do them. It just does them straight up. It doesn't join up as close to the next support, you know, to give it a bit of extra strength. It'll do it in the auto supports, but it won't do it when you manually edit the supports.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, I mean, if you come across any problems or anything like that and you need help or some advice, you know, it's easy to find me. And
Definitely,
it's quite, once you actually get into it, it becomes second nature and it's really easy. But yeah, I mean, you're like me, you've come from FDM. The transition from FDM to thinking upside down, if you know what I mean, because you look at the model on the build plate, but yet it's actually upside down when you're printing it. Just takes a little bit longer to get used to the system, but as soon as you get there, you know, I mean, you'll literally be able to look at a model and go, right, I know how to print this, and then you'll start playing around like I do and see how thin I can get the supports and how far I can push the software.
yeah, I can see that.
Hey, Jimmy.
What's up, Jimmy?
I already have, matey. But yeah, I must admit, I've been loving that Anycubic, the new mono range. I'm gonna have to save up and get myself the large one, then retire the Moai.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, the build plate on the Moai is literally like 2 photon plates put together. It's a nice square plate, and it's got quite a lot of height as well. I mean, that's the size of the Moai plate.
Goodness.
But the Mono X is 3 times the size of the. Hang on, I'll get that plate out now. Yeah, the photon mono plate is 3 of these next to each other.
Wow. That's crazy.
If you're having problems getting your prints off the actual build plate, your base exposure is too high. You either dial it back by 10. If it then becomes too easy to knock off, up it by 5.
Well, see, I shouldn't have that problem because I've got the WamBam flex plate on it.
All right.
So, in all technicality, I should not have that problem.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I kept saying to everyone in the group, if you're dialing your base exposure right, you shouldn't have a problem knocking your prints off. I mean, I've seen some of them with their plates have been gouged, with the scraper, and it's like, what are you doing to that poor plate?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm using a base exposure at the moment of 35 on the photon mono, the mono one. And I mean, they pop off nice. As soon as you get the scraper underneath it, you just have to just lift it a little bit, and then it just slides straight under it. But you won't have that problem if you've got the WamBam on it.
Yeah. So yeah, my hope is that I can do that, pop that off, pop the print off, clean it, and start another print fairly quick if I need to start a print. So
yeah. You want to get Jimmy in here as well if he's willing to jump in?
Yeah, if Jimmy wants to jump in, or
come on, Jimmy.
Robbie would have to message me. I
think he's
friended him. Oh, I followed him, but I cannot send him a message at the moment.
Yeah, I think Robbie's busy at the moment. Must admit, I've actually started painting figures again.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Can't get it in. Keep forgetting the images back to front.
Yeah, right is left, left is right. Kind of, well, it's not a mirror. It's the exact.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird to do. Looks great.
There we go. I took 2.5 hours to print on the photon mono.
Oh, Jimmy.
There we go. Still in its
so
safe
good.
colors. It's been years since I've painted figures.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, back in the day, I didn't have to wear glasses. I could see them.
Yeah, that definitely makes a difference.
I was watching some. Carry on.
It's on layer 162. It's got 18 minutes remaining. It is 56% complete.
Cool. Getting ready for bed, Jimmy. How dare you? It's 6 a.m. in the morning. If I'm here talking, you can.
Yeah, it's 12:03 here.
Yeah, I must admit I shouldn't be up this late.
I consider that early, not late. Well, that's if, you've gone to bed.
No, I haven't been up bed yet.
So then yeah, that's up late. But I do that all the time, actually. But that's because I work.
I just get involved in the forum, the Facebook group too much. It's like I've got stuff to do. I've got my own stuff to do, like me sculpting and VR.
Yeah.
One thing I will be trying with the VR is trying to do custom supports in it.
Oh, there you go.
Add the actual supports as I'm building the model, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I must admit, that VR headset was a game changer when it came to sculpting, because I can have the models full scale in front of me.
That's always nice.
Yeah. And then you sort of you do all the detail and you're like, if I put enough detail on that, it doesn't look very detailed. And then you shrink it down to the size of what it's going to be printing out like in front, and you're holding it like that in front of your eyes, and you're like, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for this. The stench of the resin is definitely different than I was expecting.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, with the machine that you've got, with clear resin, you need lower exposure times, but you can do larger layers, if you know what I mean. You can easily get away with 1.5 layer. Or Or, you know, I mean,
That's nice.
You could even push 2 millimeters as well per layer. But usually with crystals, I tend to sort of like do up to 1 millimeter. With pigmented resins, I tend to do up to 0.7. No, sorry, 0.07. Because then the pigment starts blocking the UV light, and you tend to get like splits, but look like splits in the model, if you know what I mean. It's just where the exposure has been able to penetrate it.
Okay.
How many FDM printers have you got?
5.
Right. I would definitely suggest getting hold of some fun to do industrial resin because it's heat resistant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and frost resistant as well, but I'm more interested in the heat side of it. It's also low shrinkage on the resin, ideal for making fan shrouds and cooling vents.
That's pretty cool.
So I keep meaning to, I need to get some more clear resin, and I need to send off some carb pigment body paints. I want to get some mother of pearl and some of the two tones.
Oh, yeah.
And mix that in with a bit of clear resin or some black resin and see how that comes out.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can get pigments on Amazon and stuff like that, but I don't think they're fine enough. Whereas for the car body paints, even though it's expensive, it's a much finer, you know, I mean, if you get the stuff on you, you know, like you just can't even get it off. It's that fine material.
I can see that.
I mean, we've had users mixing glow-in-the-dark pigments as well with clear resin.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, works really well.
I definitely will have to try that. I've actually got some glow-in-the-dark pigments in my cart for Amazon, so I'll definitely have to try that.
I would suggest though, if you've got a pestle and mortar, just to give it a run through that, just to, you know, just in case it's granularly, because you don't want anything too thick.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
And you don't have to keep taking the resin out the vat every time. The only time you need to take the resin out the vat is when you've got a failed print, because you need to check the bottom of the FEP and remove anything that's might have fallen off in the resin, and or when you're just changing color. Yeah, I mean, I've had resin sitting in vats for months.
Well, that's good to know.
Yep, just warm it up, give it a stir with the plastic spatula, which should only be used in the vat, by the way. Don't use it as a scraper.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, no. Yeah, I saw the, well, and that's one of the reasons for the flex plate, too. I won't have to do that. But, yeah, you know, people were doing that and breaking it. So. "15 minutes to go. It is 188 out of 288. Starting on layer 189.
Oh, if you get around to doing hollowing, because large models do need hollowing, you can still, I mean, you can print them solid, but it's a waste of resin.
Yeah.
But some people like to print things solid because they got the weight, and I suggest put a big hole in the base of it, fill it with sand, then fill it up. You know what I mean? You've got the weight there. But use mesh mixer. I take it you've got mesh mixer already on your system for the FDM.
I do. I do have mesh mixer. I don't really use it, but I have it.
It's worth getting into for Usually the way I work it is that if I download a model of Thingiverse or My Manufactory, or even one of my own models that I've created, I will load it up into 3D Builder first, check it for errors, because even some of my own models which come out of the VR, they have errors in them. It'll fix everything and then export, like save it back out. Then if I'm hollowing it, I'll use Mesh Mixer, because you've got more control over the Mesh Mixer with the hollowing. You've have it conform to the actual model, so you get exactly the same inner wall as you will with the detail on the outside, but then you'll need internal supports. Or you can have it set so it's, the hollow is like an oval. I mean, it uses a bit more resin, but it's also self-supporting. You then don't need any internal supports. I find Chitubox sometimes gives errors with the hollow.
Oh yeah.
And I also find that I mean, 3D Builder will allow you to do quick hollows, but it won't allow you to put a hole in it for venting. So you have to use a cone and cut one out. Always best to have the whole print first, or as close as to being the first thing that gets printed, because it allows the air into the model then and reduces suction.
Okay, well that's good to know.
Yeah, and that's another thing you'll suss out as well. When you look at a model, you'll sort of like say like, just go back onto StreamYards again and confuse myself. You'll have more contact with the model that way with the FEP sheet because of the way it goes up than you will that way. Because it's only printing that. And you'll be, I mean, once you actually get into it properly, you'll look at models and go, right, that's the reason why I need to move it that way, because I get less contact with the FEP sheet, which is always good. But yeah, you'll find videos on my channel anyway. Yeah, I mean, they're not just for the fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got you added, because in the comment, in the section down below, I always have in people that people should follow. Don't know if I've got you on there. I try to add on a lot of people that I follow.
I do the same. I've got like 200 people in my list.
Yeah, so I got it there with their YouTube, their Twitter, and any other social media that they really do. That's usually what I do, but at least their YouTube and Twitter, they've got both of those.
Just type Turin Khan. Yeah, I mean,
what's that?
Just type Turin Khan. I'll type it in the chat here. In the search engine, you'll easily sort of like find it then. Even though I'm known as TK3D, it's still, Turin Khan seems to find me better.
But yeah, so I always try to make sure I've got that set up so people can just go and subscribe to anybody there.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely have to make sure. Let's see my list.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the videos that I've got on my channel need to be redone anyway, because like the slicing software and everything's changed. And plus the videos are mainly key for like new users as well. Like,
I can see that. All right, let's see. Got this stuff up. AC show. Do not have you on my list. Looks like. I've got Jeffrey Wright on there. I've got 3D printer, Professor Calvin, Jimmy, Josh, and Geeky Faye. I could have sworn I had like a whole lot more on that list.
Yeah, YouTube's been playing around. I've noticed a lot of people have sort of like disappeared, and I'm not getting notifications, and then I'm finding them again and realizing the notifications bells disappeared.
Yeah, well, that's just my list that I had in my notes. So, but I could have sworn I had a whole lot more on that. But yeah, I'll definitely have to go through because there's just a lot that need to be on there, and like I don't have Joe Telling and a whole bunch of the bigger people because I figure if you're watching my stuff, you're already watching their stuff.
Yeah.
If you're into 3D printing and everything, you don't know who Uncle Jesse is or Joe Telling is. How in the world did you find me first?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, myself, I prefer like channels like this. Yeah, I mean, the small guy.
Yeah.
That does it for the enjoyment of doing it.
Yeah, see, because I'm at what 302 subs. I'm not monetized. I get nothing out of it, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I've got 302 people following me. That's awesome. It's really cool, but I don't really, you know, I don't feel like I deserve it in a sense. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, I do videos, and more lately it's just been live streaming my show every other week on my channel.
Yeah.
And then on Chris's. That's really what I've been doing. And I mean, I'll do a little short one now and again, but I'm so busy with everything else that it's like, okay, gotta find time. So
yeah, it's like myself, I don't like to be in front of the camera, and I don't like to do voiceovers on videos and stuff because I suffer with emphysema, and yeah, I mean, you can hear it on the videos when I'm talking sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's like it just never felt comfortable this side of it.
I can understand that.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, I think I started my channel about 10 years ago, but I never really actually, it was just a channel for putting videos on just for between me and my mates and people that I knew, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got into 3D printing, it was like, you know, I mean, put some videos out. I did a lot with the FDM, you know, because that was easy, because you could start a print up, you could stick a camera in front of it and have an at it. I wasn't in front of the camera, you know, I mean, it's just the voice. It's really hard to do a time lapse on a bloody resin printer unless you got a clear vat.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, unless you've got a real tall print.
Yeah, I mean, I have done a
right.
couple of them. Yeah, I mean, I will admit, it's when you actually get a time lapse on a resin printer, because you can time it. You know, I mean, you know, it's going to take 6 seconds or 8 seconds to go up and down and do another layer, then go back up again. So you can set your time lapse up perfectly. So you know, I mean, you'll get the odd drift every now and then it'll start going straight back up again. It's a bit like, so it looks a bit like that Octoprint, you know, like where they freeze the bed and then move the head out of the way and then take the screenshot and then bring the head back in and then do the next layer.
Yeah.
But again, you need a huge print on your printer, and I don't like large prints. I don't like waiting for things. I'm impatient.
And see, I don't mind large prints. I can be patient enough to do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, my i3 Mega, you know, I mean, I can be halfway through a print and go, you know what, I really need to get some sleep, and I can just power it off. I can kill it there and then. Get up the next morning, plug it back in, continue print, off it goes. But I've got Buildtech on my bed, whereas everyone else has got Ultra bases. And of course, once that cools down, it pops the print right off, which is annoying because Anycubic still advertise the machine as it can restart a print.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you had the power up, say like your electric went off and you tripped a switch or something like that, and you powered it back on before it's had time to cool down the bed, then yeah, you could maybe restart it. But I've never been a fan of glass or the ultra base.
Yeah, I've got Ultra Base on several printers, and I like it if it's not being paused or anything.
Mm.
You know, nothing happens where it cools down, because once it cools down, your part will release and it won't stick back to it. So there's no true resuming your print unless you've embedded it into the glass a little bit, not to where you're going to break it off, but that it's actually embedded and you've got to force it off of it. Then yes, it can do that.
But I think my best investment actually for FDM printers was a 3D pen. That comes in so handy when you've got a failed support.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, once you start, say again.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, once you start getting into your resin print and start getting into a routine, it becomes second nature, just like FDM.
Yeah. So this is a swashbuckler. The sword here, I had to print separate, but then this sword here, I couldn't print. And what I had to do was I took regular filament for it, and then I stretched it with the heat gun, and then I let it cool down, and then I glued it to it. But I need to try and print this again at some point in time with the resin printer and actually just print all together.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some prints, models with supports, and they've used more support material than there is model.
I can see that.
And
on that, I didn't have to put a whole lot of support on that, which was nice. But it wasn't going to print either of the swords with an FDM printer, so. Well, I know because I had tried and failed.
Well, if I remember rightly, but yours actually sits on a oil or something like that, the resin or something, if I'm right. See if he's still there now.
Yeah, I think his is like an FDM printer style, where it goes from up down instead of down up.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's like the resin is suspended on oil or something. I could be wrong on that. Ah, right. Just a huge vat full of resin. Oh, when it comes to removing supports as well off your models, use a hairdryer on the supports after cleaning them.
Oh, yeah?
And they'll warm up and flex, and they'll easily just brush off the model. Or you can use hand hot water in a pan, an old pan or a bowl or something. And it shouldn't leave any dimples over the models. Oh, the traffic's starting to wake up.
Got 6 minutes remaining. Layer 246. We will see how well or horribly this has gone on my first print for it. So.
Be careful during the wash process because there are minute little pins on them. It's like the ones that I did. I broke most of these little fine ones off. Hang on. Small vat, it's 5 liters. Yeah, just about there. Come on, focus.
Yeah, I saw them before. There they are.
Yeah, I broke all the ones that are closest to me here off cleaning them. I didn't even see them. They were that fine. But yeah, on the group we've got just trying to think. I'll post a link to it actually. YouTube. And Jimmy's just posted a video.
I saw that.
It's one of my gargoyles. I'll have to watch that afterwards.
There you go. Ah, yes, that's the probably reprint or yeah, he may have reprinted that gargoyle from his last stream that he was in.
Hmm. Let's see if that'll allow me to post. Yep. I've just posted on YouTube on the chat there a link to resin calibration test that we actually use with the Photon. In the info to the video, okay, you'll find a link directly to it. It's basically a little square with an 8 on it and some test like parameters down the side, and it uses less resin and it's easier to work out because where the 8 intersects, it's the finer the point where it joins, the better the calibration, if you know what I mean. So if it's blurred, it's I mean, it explains it all in the video anyway.
Awesome.
But myself, I usually use an XYZ cube on supports. Okie doke, Welbot. You take it easy, matey. Welbot's gonna crash out for a bit. It's getting too
oh, good. About time, Welbot. Go crash. Yeah, I will be posting pictures on Twitter.
This is the latest thing that I'm working on. Where are we?
Nice.
Still need to finish carving it. And once it's done, I'll get a scan of that and then put it up and people can download it and print it.
That'd be nice.
Got a huge big piece of slate in the kitchen, which is ready for a design.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't use my wood lathe at the moment because I'm in a middle flat. Wood lathe in the back room. Neighbors
Yeah,
don't like it too much.
Yeah, I can see that. Be discouraged. Do that. It says 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I mean, since I haven't been painting for so many years, a lot of my paints have dried up.
That I believe.
And I've got some Citadel paints, which are over 30 years old, and some of them still work quite nicely.
Well, there you go.
But I was looking at, like replacing stuff, and I was just like, ouch. Seems to get more pricey in smaller pots.
Yep, that sounds about right. Price goes up and you get less for what you pay for.
Have you got a lot of metal figures?
No, I do not actually have any metal figures, but that.
I was watching a video the other day of like some of the rare stuff.
Yeah.
Like models that have, haven't been reproduced or done that, and as they're going through them, I'm going like, I've got one of them somewhere. Because Rail Patha used to be a local company in the UK, and I used to get loads of stuff from them.
Nice.
And I used to get all the DMs around in the local area as well, coming to me like and bringing the figures, which annoyed me because I was actually in their games. It's like, can you paint this up for the next game? It's like, I don't really want to know that there's beholders in the game. You're spoiling it for me.
Yeah.
And then I'd paint them up, and then within 3 weeks, you'd see them just being dented around in a tin. And it kind of like put me off the idea of painting models for other people.
I can see that. Yeah, I have not played in about 2 years, so.
Oh, I haven't played for years. Yeah, I mean,
we had started up the game, and I was the DM, and so I actually made the guys in my group. I 3D printed their miniatures for them.
Yeah,
that was my gift to them for for doing it. Like, all right, well, this is for you guys. This is your miniatures. So the swashbuckler, or as I call him, the gay pirate, because one, he's purple, and the guy has long hair, like a ponytail and stuff like that. It's funny, and so it was just kind of a funny inside joke of calling him the gay pirate, because this guy isn't gay, but people think he is because he's kind of flamboyant acting and stuff. It's just hilarious. So we call him the gay pirate.
In real life.
Yeah, but so yeah, it was just a fun game, and did bards and all that. But it was fun because I got to practice and print with a 0.2 millimeter nozzle and go really slow and get them printing. And
it's so hard.
Being that as FDM, the quality I got out of some of these guys was really good compared to the 0.4 millimeter nozzle, which sucked.
Yeah. I mean, I had some amazing miniatures because I got into doing a lot of stuff in micro, because when I first started with the FDM, I used to be a moderator for World of Tanks, and I was always getting pissed off the fact that you'd spend, like people would buy premium tanks, 60 quid, 80 quid.
Oy.
They've got as a digital tank in a game, which they can't do anything with.
Yeah.
And, my view is if I'm spending that sort of money, hi Rover.
I better have. Hey Rover.
Yeah.
I better have an actual physical copy.
Yeah, or a kit. At least send me a kit with the tank. And I suggested to them ages ago, like, you really should bring these out as models that people can print. It doesn't affect the game. It's not like you're building a tank from the game and being able to use it. It's just something you can have on your shelf. And they were like, oh, no, we're not having that. And that's why World of Tanks had a big kickoff as well on Thingiverse and everything, and got rid of everybody's tanks. And it's like, you don't own the copyright on the tanks. The governments that produced them own the copyright. You're copying it anyway. I know it's their, you could say it's their sort of like, what's the word? Intellectual designs or whatever. They physically designed them, but they're still based on somebody else's work. So technically, it's a copy. They're following blueprints and stuff, which anyone can get hold of.
Yeah. The only thing you guys did was model it, 3D design software, and rig it up with a skeleton or whatever that they are using, whatever they call it in their software. Because in Blender, you put a skeleton to it to get it to move around, and you do all these other things. So you're doing something like that to get it rigged up and going. So
a lot of games companies, it's like Borderlands. They have no problem with anyone ripping their models out, 3D printing them, or redesigning them to look like characters that they've got in the game. I've posted many a picture up of like the stuff that I've pulled out of there, and they've always been really happy with it. And it's like, why don't these companies go like, we could actually bring these out and sell these as STL files ourselves? Because I would love some official Borderlands characters that were STLs, which I could download. And if I had to pay like $5 for each one, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
It's throwing free money to the games company. And as an artist, if I was working with these companies, because at the end of the day, all the models that they create for the games are very high detail, high res. They're actual proper models. All the details is in the model. And once they start converting it down and using like, bump maps and stuff like that, like to add the detail to the basic models, I was quite happy with knowing that somebody was like ripping my models out of the game and bringing them out. But then again, I would just say, let's just bring them out as STL files. Stop them from ripping into the game.
Yeah.
Bring out the files. That's what they want. And we have control over it that way. Dying Light on their in their box, in the download, you actually got 3 zombie models, STL files for printing.
That's pretty cool. All right, so how many do you think failed, TK?
1 or 2, or maybe none, depending on the settings.
All right, so I'm going to take off my actual headset so I can actually do some stuff and get over to it. But
yep,
there is a fail at least on it.
Which would be number 1, I imagine.
Oh. Give me just a minute. All right. So I've got my cure station set up. I've got the one glove. I've got some other gloves in this. So looks like they gave me a total of 4 gloves. 5 gloves.
You might find it easier as well. Nitrile gloves. A little bit. It's weird because you can hear me. Yeah.
So,
get gloves larger.
So this is the gloves that they provide. This is my original glove that I have. So I need to get more. This is my last glove.
No glove, no love.
All right. All right, so here is the extent of the failed print. Got 3.
Okie doke. Pop them off and give them a wash. Come on.
Yep, so let's go ahead and send that to there. All right.
I think you still might need to get these straight. I think the idea with the flexi plate is get the actual scraper underneath the corner of the model.
Yeah, underneath one of the corners would be fairly decent to do.
It won't be long before flexi plate. Is the plate magnetic?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a magnet that I've got stuck to the actual original build surface.
Oh, right. So magnets on the build plate. Tacks onto it.
Yeah, so it's spring steel.
Don't forget, you'll have three for the bottom of your fact sheet.
What's that?
You'll have three felt to the fact sheet in the vat.
Yeah.
Just need a bit of tip. Don't take your gloves.
I'm actually gonna put another glove back on.
Okay.
But I can't get the one of the failed things off the actual build plate.
Now use the metal scraper with it.
All right. What do you think? 2, 4, 6 minutes?
I've no idea. I don't know.
Let's just go for 6.
Yeah. Right. Put a bit of IPM on the give the plate and the build plate white.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, a bit of IPA on and get the whole plate wiped down.
Yep.
Also, I find handy, like after you've cleaned everything up, is to put the gloves underneath and cure all the resin that's before you dispose of them.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just gonna make a brew. Oh, I like the sound of it.
I like the sound
now.
of it now.
Yeah, slow down and start spinning the other way.
I really should get a cleaning station.
Yeah, so they had a deal going on with it. So I got the Photon, the wash station, and a liter from Anycubic's website, $335.
Nice.
So I was like, well, I don't think I could pass that price tag up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it cost me over 400. It's amazing how much cheaper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if they'd be around in 5 years' time. Yeah, I mean, resin print isn't. A lot of people just can't be bothered with the mess.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I mean, it's just like everything, you get a routine, just second nature. Also, another thing to get older, you're hollowing models. Get some syringes. So you can flush out the hollow.
I can see that.
And don't fill them up too quick. The hole that's on the back of them. It's a mistake a lot of people leave it up straight away. And, if you've got a little bit of resin still in there, eventually it'll crack. But at least you know the bed's level.
This is true. So WamBam, they said because they were in chat for a little while. They said to let this cure for about 24 hours, the adhesive.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, well, let's see. Do we want to just not do it and then just start printing with it regular? and they said, because Chris was telling me what they were saying in chat, they said go ahead and just print with it, and if it comes off, they'll send me a new magnet sheet.
Nice.
And honestly, I thought that was really freaking awesome to even offer to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they pop into. I like companies that do them.
Yeah, I tagged them and stuff, and they they liked my post and whatnot. So I figured I'll just keep tagging them, and they can check it out if they want, and they did. So this was a pre-order. I was actually in the second batch of the pre-order. And funny thing is, I got my flex plate before I got this.
On Thingiverse as well, it's an adapter that you can put between the bedpost and it allows you to angle so it drains into the vat.
Interesting.
Handy for small models and stuff. If you have a large print, you might have a problem with the angle of it.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing to do is undo the bolts on the vat. Never lift it.
Okay, what's that?
Yeah, always slide. Always slide it towards. Lift it, slide it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Because if it's got any red it, you get them when you're sliding it, and it'll come off without pulling the string out. Mind you, the one good thing about you can actually see the print.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, well, I was gonna say I don't see where it would have done anything, but I see the 3 spots right here stuck to the fact sheet.
Yeah. Have you got? Did it come with coffee, Phil?
Got it.
Sound. I think they should really supply a proper for it to fit to.
Yeah.
You can get them from most hardware stores. About £1.
Yeah, I've got a funnel. Well, I've got funnels. Let's see.
That's why it's handy to have the funnel.
Trying to think if I can grab
Still,
one. Let's see if I can go grab one real quick. That would be a negative because I've got the door to the garage locked where my funnel is, and I can get to it here, but I've got stuff in the way, and I've got my gloves on, and I don't want to.
And you've got resin on gloves. You've painted yourself.
Don't really feel like doing that. If I would have thought of it, I would have grabbed the funnel. Yeah, they really use something to actually hold these in there properly.
I mean, it can be done.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm just going to hold it up off of it and then pour.
This is the part I really hate.
I can see that.
You don't need to get it all out of that. Because you'll be using the same color again.
Going to be what?
You're going to be using the green again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know they're basically squares anyway. It's not like they're floating around in it.
Very true. All right, so
If you press gently from underneath the fat sheet, you should be able to lift it up enough to be able to use the plastic scraper. It's also handy at the beginning to run the scraper around in the vat just in case there was any bit during the last print.
Yeah.
Because you'll see.
There was actually no bits that came off. It just did not.
Yeah, it's basically because it's a flat cube. But you know, if you do a problem with like a bit of the supports.
Yeah.
But again, you know, I mean, as you put the scraper around, you'll feel any bits stuck. It's just a little nerve-wracking.
Just a little bit.
You might want to put some tape around the actual LCD. Is it being stubborn?
It is being very stubborn. So I'll let that run again. Yeah, I cannot get it to pop the corner up.
You don't have to be gentle underneath it. You know, I mean, it will take a bit of pressure. Yeah, I mean, I know it's really thin. I mean, it'll take a bit of pressure underneath it. When you push me up. You know, and put a squirt of IPA in there.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. But I've also got quite a bit of green still sitting here.
Right.
There we go. Oh, now let's see. It's like getting there. There we go. One down, two to go. Well, I've got this one that's kind of coming off. It's breaking into pieces, but it's coming slowly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy on the group which basically it prints an entire block for peeling everything off. And it's like, it sounds like a nice idea, but down on the prints, the felt print, you know what I mean, to do it.
All right, got him. 3 for 3.
Just need to get the wipe down now and to go again.
Yeah. All right. It's definitely a new experience, that's for sure.
It does get easy. Prep, you know, I mean, again, spend more time prepping them on.
Yeah.
But I also take a lot of risk. Well. Yeah, I mean, it's afterwards when they are. Like, I really should have put that elbow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find printing things. Yeah, I mean, especially miniatures. Yeah, I mean, the elephant foot is usually taken up in the base.
Yeah.
See, I have to be really careful with my prints because I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
So it's like I always have to make when I go to clean my mouth. One day there'll just be a big
Had 280 little bitty dots on the Feb sheet that I found. I had a, you know.
Is it stuck resin or?
Yeah, it's just resin.
Yeah, let your vat dry before you put it back in. Putting it back in and resin on the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna go through tons of paper.
Yeah, well, one nice thing about this is they've got it to where you can reseal your IPA in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to need to get a container to put my IPA in from this. Nope, they thought of that already.
So I literally still use two Tupperware lids on them.
Yeah.
A sonic toothbrush.
You see, I was going to do the exact same thing and just use a Tupperware container for it. And one really cool thing, I'm trying to see here, I'll tilt this up. It's got magnets, so when it spins down below, it spins that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to
I thought that was pretty cool of them to do that.
Yeah, you want to make sure before you start curing them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna should have filled this up earlier, but I didn't. Like an idiot. I filled all the other stuff off. I just didn't come to this and fill this off.
Yeah, I am tempted.
I am tempted.
That's there. And then I need to refill this. This is just like isopropyl alcohol from the dollar store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my town. And this thing was like $2 to get. I was like, you know, that's not a bad price. I can deal with that price.
Yeah, it costs us about £7 now at the moment. IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean at the beginning of the epidemic.
So this was $2. This, so this is 50%. This is 70%, and this was $1.50. For 16 ounces. And I put 3 16-ounce ones into that.
The problem we've got in the UK is that you can't go into buy IPA.
That sucks.
Yeah, we had late 90s. A lot of fake vodka in the shelves that was made without IPA.
Oh yeah.
It was, you know, it was for blinding people. So rather than, you know, I mean, because they were thinking about realize that people could evaporate it, take the color out of it. So they just stopped selling it. Basically, buy it from like a huge chemical company or on Amazon.
Yeah, that sucks. All right.
Do they feel tacky?
Can't say that it does.
Right. Means it's clean then. You'd know the difference. You know what I mean? It's smooth and shiny, like, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things I don't like about especially when they claim, you know, you can wash it underneath water and stuff. It's like, even if you do that, I find that they still feel tacky. And I always end up using IPA.
I can see that.
Plus, a new user, person has no knowledge of printers and deep resin will think it's water washable. I can do that underneath the sink.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's only me and you that are on.
That's weird. I know you want it to be dry before you.
Have you got an air compressor?
In my shop, I do.
Give them a blast with that.
Well, my shop's like 200 feet that way.
All right. No, I thought you might have had a little, you know, like spray paint model stuff.
I do have an airbrush.
That'll do it. Use that. I do have an airbrush. It's in the box.
Yes, but it's also not farther away. So, and this has got my spray paints for completing stuff, and then also my airbrush paints. We're obviously airbrushing.
I must admit, fine detailed work with airbrushes and stuff. It tends to be beyond me.
Yeah. So funny thing is, I got this for Christmas years ago, and I've still yet to be to use it to airbrush because I'm still busy with everything else.
I know the feeling.
But it was a great price to get as a gift. I just haven't used it yet. So technically the first time using it. Not for its actual purpose.
Yeah, I think I've got the same.
What's that?
I think I've got the same compressor as
it likes to move the little prongs on it with the pressure. Gonna let that dry a little bit. Yeah, I'm excited to use my airbrush. I just actually got to get a project I can use it on. And once I get a project I can use it on, have time to do said projects to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've used it for screen models and stuff. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd actually use is basically undercoating the model.
Yeah. So I'll spray paint things is usually what I'll do. And I've gone over and done a Skyrim mask for a friend. And I used blue, red, and some silver with it. And I made it have a 3-tone color to it. So whenever you shifted it in the light, you got different reflections. You get red in there as well. You get the silver, you get the blue.
Yeah.
You had like the blue and silver mostly kind of looked what you turn it, then you would also just get that red hitting it. The annoying thing was I had it looking really, really cool, and then I dropped it face down.
Ouch.
Ouch. I had to redo the entire thing.
I
So
remember
the really first time I did it, it looked spectacular, just perfect. I loved the look of it. The second time, it looks good, but not as good as it did the first time.
Mm.
But yeah, I had to peel off all that paint.
So
I was not happy with myself, to say the least. All right. That's there. I can slide all my boxes of other stuff on top. All right.
I think all you need to do basically with the settings and the splice is just add 2 to the normal exposure and 10 to the basic exposure. And that's basically the settings for the Anycubic thing.
Yeah, say that one more time.
Yeah, in the default slicer that comes with the actual photo, add 2 to the exposure for the layers and 10 to the base exposure. No, I mean in the actual slicer itself, the slicing software. Whoa! That's a better speed. I can't hear you, by the way, because you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot that I had not taken it off of wash.
I'm surprised it didn't fly off.
I was a bit surprised too. But yeah. So I changed it to Cure.
Yeah, I think I might have to invest in one of the stations.
Yeah.
Rightio, well, 20 to 8 in the morning. I think it's time I went to bed.
Will understand completely. It's 1:40 here, so I'm gonna let that finish up, and I'm gonna go wash up myself, and I'm gonna go to bed for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Just hope nobody knocks on my door late. Got things to do.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone who joined in and watched.
Yep.
It's
Again, if you have a problem,
3 hours and 40 minutes into the show now. So
again, if you need help,
thank you for popping on and talking, and I will definitely be hitting you up. So
okay, mate.
yeah, greatly appreciate it, and take care. I'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.